Welcome back, bookworms, to My Sister's TBR. I'm Rebecca, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in literary crime,
Stacey, and we're here for your mid-month dose of bookish banter. July is already in full swing, and we have a mountain of exciting news to share with you.
First up, we'll be diving into our current reads, including our featured read this month, Emily Henry's Funny Story. Spoiler alert, it is just as funny, heartwarming, and romantic as you would expect.
But that's not all. We'll also be dishing on the latest bookish gossip, from movie adaptations of our favorite novels to juicy tidbits about upcoming releases.
July is shaping up to be a stellar month for new books, and we've got our eyes on some potential must-reads. We'll be sharing our most anticipated releases and hoping you'll chime in with your own recommendations.
So grab your favorite mug, find a comfy spot, and get ready for a fun-filled episode of My Sister's TBR.
Let's kick things off with what we're currently reading. Stacey, what's got you hooked this month?
Well, okay, I have a list of 4 books that I'm currently reading.
Okay.
But I think I'll start with my longest running, which is
Good Lord.
A Court of Silver Flames.
What?
I've picked it back
way.
up. It was on the pause shelf for a while, but
okay.
I've got it back. I found where I'm to, and we're rolling again. So I should have it finished for our end month episode.
Oh my god, how far are you now?
Still only about maybe 65 or 70%. I'm reading it physical, so it's kind of hard to judge. But it's definitely past half, not quite a quarter.
Oh dear.
I just love them so much, and I don't want to say goodbye.
I know, I'm quite sad, honestly, that I don't have that one to read anymore.
Oh, just start over again.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm obviously not going to read the description. We've been over this a million times on this podcast that I don't think I need to rehash any of that, but...
Yep.
Yeah. What about you? How many books are you currently reading?
So, I'm currently reading... Oh! Yeah. I was just trying to rack my brain what the first current read, or what I first started reading at the beginning of the month.
Oh, God. You look way too excited about this.
I love hiding myself on Goodreads, or staying off of Goodreads, just so that you can't see what I'm currently reading.
It is a total shock.
My first book that I picked up this month was Do Not Go Gentle by Sin Len Yu.
Oh, finally. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh. I am 37% through this book, and I physically had to stop myself from reading it. I wanted to focus on others as well, because I knew I would have finished this.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to finish it because I wanted to talk about it on this episode.
Tell our listeners what it is.
So, it is based after the war of, the Hogwarts War, obviously from the Harry Potter world. And it's as if, I feel like this is not a spoiler, it's if Severus Snape lived. I remember you guys talking about this before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I've read enough to know that I'm not against it. But then, the next night, so I think I was reading it for 2 nights. Then the second night, after the first scene, you know, I watched Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that.
It kind of messed with me a little bit, but I wasn't, like, it was fine.
Because you're not meant to picture... Now, I love Alan Rickman, so I don't mind picturing that. But it's intended to picture Harry Potter, the novels, Snape, not the movie Snape.
I can't.
I know.
Can't separate the two. I cannot separate the two at all.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with how much I liked it. And I knew that I wanted to read more of her fan fictions. Yep. But I just kept putting it off and putting it off. Like, and I felt like I needed to be, like, in the right mood for it. Mm-hmm. But it hit. And I didn't realize how fast I was going through it until all of a sudden I looked down and I'm like, holy shit, I'm at 37. Like, I gotta pump the brakes here.
Yeah. I think having Manacled as your first fan fiction may have set, like, a really high bar.
Yeah.
Not saying that, like, nothing will ever top it or anything like that, but it does set a really high bar, so it's harder to find more fan fictions that hit like Manacled hit, you know?
I want to read it again. Oh my god.
Like, knowing everything that we know to start over again, I don't know if I would be able to. Because, like, yeah. Physically, like, my heart aches thinking about knowing what Draco knew.
Also, yeah, true.
From the start, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be really hard to read. Oh, God. Yeah. And especially that freaking line at the very end.
The anger. It bubbles. Anyway. Amazing. I cannot wait to read the actual published. Like, that's going to be amazing. She's already, like... Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'll hold off on my reread until that gets published. That's what I'll do.
Smart.
All right. What's your next read?
Okay. I'm back to reading Heartless. It's the second book in the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. Okay. It's not like... You can totally read it as a standalone if you want. It does give spoilers as to who ends up with who at the end of the first book, but that's, you know, you read the description of a book and you know that they're gonna be together, so maybe it's not so much a spoiler. But anyways, I know I have talked about this one before, but I'll just give like a very basic description of it. It's a cowboy, age gap, single daddy raising his son on his own, and he looks damn good in a pair of Wranglers. So I am in my bliss reading this book, and he's another dirty talker. And it's not like the weird kind of dirty talking where you kind of get like that, like your skin is crawling. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it just doesn't do it.
Like, leave that in your mouth.
This is literal perfection. I love it. Love it. Yeah, so she's the best friend of the main female character of the first book.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really, and he's the brother of the main, not the female character, but the main male character. And so she's there with Summer, who's her friend. This is Willa. Summer is from the first book. And Cade is the main male character in this book. And so Summer is hooking Willa up as the nanny for Cade's son. So there's that, like, kind of employer sort of thing. She's living in the house. Like a live-in nanny thing. And, like, means she falls head over heels for the kid. So it's just... It's so, so, so sweet.
Oh, boy.
Highly recommend. And it's set in Alberta. So it's not like... I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it's not like real cowboys, but it's cowboys.
Albertian cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess for all intents and purposes, yeah, okay, they're real cowboys, but
I think that might be the closest that we're gonna see.
yeah.
Yep. Then I'm just gonna. Are you done? I'm gonna jump in.
I'm done. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm excited.
It's not that exciting. It's fine. Then I started reading another Frida McFadden.
Oh, naturally.
Surprise, surprise. But this one's a little bit different.
Okay.
Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden.
Oh yeah, I've seen the cover of that one before.
I've never even seen this. 325 pages. It had 136,000 ratings.
Okay.
With 4 stars. Again, a mystery thriller. But I felt this one is a little bit more suspenseful than the other ones. Like, I wasn't nervous reading the others.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I'm like, man, like, what going on here? I also, obviously, have not read this description out yet, so I don't even know what this is going to contain, but we'll see now. Oh, God. Quinn Alexander has committed an unthinkable crime. To avoid spending her life in prison, Quinn makes a run for it. She leaves behind her home, her job, and her family. She grabs her passport and heads for the northern border before the police can discover what she's done. But when an unexpected snowstorm forces her off of the road, Quinn must take refuge at the broken-down, isolated Baxter Motel. The handsome and kindly owner, Nick Baxter, is only too happy to offer her a cheap room for one night. Unfortunately, the Baxter Motel isn't the quiet, safe haven it seemed to be. The motel has a dark and disturbing past, and in the dilapidated house across the way, the silhouette of Nick's ailing wife is always at the window, always watching. In the morning, Quinn must leave the hotel. She'll pack up her belongings and get back on the road to freedom, but first, she must survive the night. Do Not Disturb is a Hitchcock-style psychological thriller that will keep you tearing through the pages until you reach the shocking conclusion.
What the shit? I got goosebumps.
That is, yeah, perfect. Yeah. So, like, all of her other books that I've read so far have just been, like, in a workplace or in a home, whatever, nothing is nerve-wracking, right? Like, it's not scary at all, but this one, it's like the silhouette of the wife that does not move out of the window.
Oh.
It's in the same position. And I have a theory, but knowing Frida, it's not going to be freaking right. She's going to be the complete opposite. But this one was kind of set up different too, because like the other ones normally are like different timelines or different POV with like younger person or like younger main character compared to like the adult version. But this one is different POV, but the first like say 10 chapters were from the main character, and then it switched to like her sister.
Oh. And
the end of the main character's point of view ends on a cliffhanger, right? So it's like, we're like, what the freak happened to her? What's going on there? We're not getting her side of the story. We're only getting the sisters now. Like, I don't know. Oh. It's very interesting. I'm like, I was reading it all last night and I'm like nervous. Like there's some eerie. There's something.
It feels like it has more horror vibes.
Yep. And honestly, I've been waiting for this. Because every other one have been the same, like, PG. Like, it's fine. But this is more next level than the other ones so far.
Ooh, I think I have to read that one.
I think you should, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've been saying that for a while, that we want a book that's going to make us scared. I want to be scared. So,
this one is getting there.
give me, Verity standing atop the stairs. Like, give me those vibes for the whole book.
I don't think I would sleep.
It would be so fun.
It would be... But honestly, you know what works really well in my favor? I can save on electricity because it is 24-hour daylight here, so I don't have to sleep with a lamp on.
So you just have to leave all of your potentially scary reads for summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's doable. Yeah.
I love it.
Just give myself crippling anxiety for the next 2 months. It's fine.
Why not? Oh, God. Just don't start thinking about it when it's 24-hour darkness.
Do not say that again. In October?
Do not bring this up. Coffee. I just spit in my coffee all over my keyboard. It has been a long time since I've actually physically spit out a beverage.
You're welcome.
Oh, my keyboard.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
All right. What do you read next? Or what else are you reading?
So I've been craving a really dark romance.
Oh boy.
And I don't know, I haven't been able to really find a good one. But this one came up on the
I am all ears.
This one came up on one of the sites, one of the groups that I'm in. And it's Madness, a young decay novel by Jack Whitney. And it's only short. It's 298 pages. It's a dark romance, and music is listed as one of the genres.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Because he's in a band.
Okay.
Okay. So I couldn't remember what it was that piqued my interest, why I clicked it, but I remember now that the picture that somebody had posted saying, looking for recommendations based on this picture. And it was like a guy in a ghost face mask and no shirt and just all, rippling body. And this is one that somebody had posted, and a lot of people were liking it, saying came to recommend this one as well, blah, blah, blah. So this one is, there's two dual POV between Andy and Maddox. So the description starts out saying, Andy, for a decade, I've managed to dodge getting assigned to photograph my brother's rock band, Young Decay. That is, until one of our photographers tries to get a photo of the band's most elusive and private member. It's only for 10 days, just long enough to capture their Halloween homecoming show, and while they find a permanent replacement. I'm set for home, thinking I can avoid all the fears going home comes with. Fears that I've been running from for years now. I expect the darkness of the past to dig its claws into me and threaten never to let go. However, I don't expect to find someone who sees my darkness not as a flaw, but as another beautiful part of who I am. And I especially don't expect that someone to be my brother's best friend, Young Decay's masked bassist, Mads Torning. Or, as I know him, Maddox Keynes. And the Maddox POV in the description says, since Young Decay's early days, my privacy has been a part of me I've clung to. I'm used to wearing the mask day in and day out, hiding myself from anyone who might want a glimpse. They don't expect to find a monster running from his past, hoping people will forget he even exists. Yet, here I am heading home for our band's Halloween homecoming run. I'm ready to shed my mask and finally breathe a little in front of the people who took me in as a kid, and even to see the woman I've had a crush on for a decade. I never expected to one day have her in my arms to share the darkest corners of my soul with, and now that I have her, I'll do anything to keep her, even if it means losing everything.
Okay, damn.
Dang. Yeah, so all along, like, I was thinking that, like, this was, like, younger people. I don't know what age he is yet, but I do believe she's in, like, her late 30s.
Oh.
So this is, like...
Oh, I
Now,
love that.
correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure that she's in her late 30s. If she's not in her late 30s, she's at least, like, older than he is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for sure. But I'm pretty sure late 30s. I don't know. Anyways, really, really good so far. The writing does feel a little on the, like, not as well polished side. So that has felt a little bit of a, like, a I don't know, like a con to the book.
Yeah.
But it's still a good enough story that I'm just eating it up. Dark romance, we'll see how it goes. I should have it finished by the end of the month and give my full review.
Oh, I love it, though. Like, the mask and, like, the band, and that's gonna be good.
Yep. And bassists never get, like, a good central role. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah. What else are you reading?
I'm only also reading the book, the featured read. Also reading the book.
The book. Okay, I've finished it. I'll just read the last one that I'm reading, and then we'll pop back to the featured read.
Okay.
The other book that I'm finally reading is the first book in the Mistborn novels series by Brandon Sanderson, The Final Empire.
Oh, okay.
So Chris has deemed this entire year as, like, the year of the Cosmere. Like, he's reading all of the books that's in the Cosmere universe. Started with Mistborn. And I said right from the beginning, oh, I'll definitely read it with you. Insert clown face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know why I didn't start. Like, everything just kept piling up. All the books that we were trying to get done for the podcast and for the book club and blah, blah, blah. So I finally used my Audible credits on the book because I have 3 credits. So I was just like, there's 3 books in the Mistborn series. So let's go. Yeah. So I started that and it is really, really, really good. Holy crap. It's fantasy is not, there's no, like, romance. It's not a romantic fantasy. Unfortunately. But I'm still, oh my god, like, blown away by Brandon Sanderson's ability to, and I've said it before, his ability to just, his storytelling. And, like, and he just, the man is a machine for releasing novels. It's insane. But anyways, back to Mistborn. So it's fantasy, it's high fantasy. 541 pages, so she's pretty thick. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, the description. What if the whole world were a dead, blasted wasteland? For 1,000 years the ash fell and no flowers bloomed. For 1,000 years the Ska slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler, the sliver of infinity, reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, divinely invincible. Then, when hope was so long lost that not even its memory remained, a terrible, scarred, heartbroken half-Ska rediscovered it in the depths of the Lord Ruler's most hellish prison. Kelsier snapped and found in himself the power of a Mistborn. A brilliant thief and natural leader, he turned his talents to the ultimate caper, with the Lord Ruler himself as the mark. Kelsier recruited the underworld's elite, the smartest and most trustworthy allomancers, each of whom shares one of his many powers and all of whom relish a high-stakes challenge. Then, Kelsier reveals his ultimate dream, not just the greatest heist in history, but the downfall of the divine despot. Even with the best criminal crew ever assembled, Kel's plan looks more like the ultimate long shot until luck brings a ragged girl named Vin into his life. Like him, she's a half-Ska orphan, but she lived a much harsher life. Vin has learned to expect betrayal from everyone she meets. She will have to learn trust if Kel is to help her master powers, of which she never dreamed. So yeah, I'm like, maybe 20% into this novel.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It took a while for my brain to get in fantasy. We all know that, you know, we start fantasy books and it's just as well as we're trying to read a dictionary in a whole other language. Yep. It's hard to go from like reading contemporary romance to fantasy. It's difficult. So going from the filthiest smut to a high fantasy has been like, my brain is like, okay, they're slaves. Are they sex slaves?
Yeah.
And like, I'm just, I don't know what's going on. It honestly, like, before I knew it, like, usually it takes me a while and I'm just like so freaking confused on everything. But with this book, I was for the first, like, maybe chapter. And then before I knew it, I was just like, holy crap, I understand everything. This all makes sense to me now. So it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That's good.
Starting it.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's no way I'm going to have this one done by the end of the month. Like, this is going to be a while, I think. Yeah, so it's at least only going to be like 3 or 4 hours a day for like 2 days out of the week. So it's going to take me a while to get it. Because it's like 24 hours long, the audiobook.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's like a full month for me.
You'll get there.
Yeah, but it's great. Highly, highly recommend.
So I think next we both are just reading the featured read, right?
I'm done. I finished that in 2 days.
I can see how.
Could not stop. Honest to God, I tried to pace it.
Also, I'm on my second drink, so I'm like...
I'm currently drinking vodka, so
this
is going to go real well.
This is what we need to do for every episode, I think. Fuck the coffee.
Yep.
Okay, so our featured read for July was Funny Story by Emily Henry. This just released in April, just a couple months ago, and it has 395 pages, and it is a contemporary romance.
Naturally.
Description. A shimmering, joyful new novel about a pair of opposites with the wrong thing in common. Daphne always loved the way her fiancé Peter told their story, how they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it, right up until the moment he realized he was in love with his childhood best friend, Petra, which is how Daphne begins her new story. Stranded in beautiful Waning Bay, Michigan, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian that barely pays the bills, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Nowak. Scruffy and chaotic, with a penchant for taking solace in the sounds of heartbreak love ballads, Miles is exactly the opposite of practical, buttoned-up Daphne, whose coworkers know so little about her they have a running bet that she's either FBI or in witness protection. The roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. If said plan also involves posting deliberately misleading photos of their summer adventures together, well, who could blame them? But it's also just for show, of course, because there's no way Daphne would actually start her new chapter by falling in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, right? Honestly, it's kind of like interesting in a sense. We read that description before we started reading the book.
Yeah.
So, like, it is kind of cool to be like, oh, yeah, like, I know what they're referring to here.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, I didn't want to know that something happens. Like, obviously, it's a freaking contemporary, like, it's a romance. Obviously, something's going to happen. But, like, I just find a lot of the descriptions just give it away.
I know, but how? There's no other way around it. We have to read them.
The cover. I will always judge a book by its cover. I will die on that grave. I don't care. Almost every book that I've read so far has been judging it by its cover, so I didn't need to read the description.
Yeah, 100%. Same. And Emily Henry's books, the covers of her books are always, like, so eye-catching.
Yeah. I love it.
Like, Happy Place with that bright pink, like, bubblegum pink.
Done.
Right? And now this one with that same, like, the bright blue. It's just...
Yeah.
Oh, I just love her books so much. Ugh.
I need to read more of her books, though, because I love her writing.
Yeah. 100%. I have not been disappointed by a single one of her books. I mean, I know she's only got, like, 4 or 5 books, but...
Still.
So, like, I can't really, like, talk much about Funny Story because I've already read it all.
You know too much.
I know everything. So how are you feeling? Like, how far into it are you? Like, what's...
Yeah, so I'm only about 30 pages in.
Mm-hmm.
But I am loving it so far.
Ugh, I literally could not put that book down. I picked it up and just, there was, like, my willpower was just gone. Emily Henry had me in her talons, and that was it.
I think okay, I already know. I'm gonna like Ashley. Am I gonna like Ashley?
That's
her coworker.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Ashley's pretty great.
And just like, I want to work in a library so bad.
I know, I get, like, such bad, like, FOMO or something. I don't know, like, that's where I want to be in my life. And I'm not.
We'll get there. When I move home, we'll get there. We'll get it soon. Not a library, but a bookstore. We'll get there.
And that's even better.
I know. Okay, I just want to start this off by saying that we literally just took, a half an hour break?
Yeah.
Probably more than that. I'm a little bit tipsy. Because I'm going to edit all of that out and I'm going to come back sounding like this, so I need to preface that before we go.
Yeah, that's a fair warning.
Yep. All right.
So I just want to start by saying Bryn Weaver announced that Butcher and Blackbird is getting a screen adaptation.
Okay, I need to read this, but I know I've heard you talk about it and you loved it, so yes. I need to read it.
She posted a fan-made poster on her Instagram and said, "This movie poster might not be real, but the news sure is. Director of The Tomorrow War, the Lego Batman movie, and Renfield, Chris McKay, is adapting the international bestseller Butcher and Blackbird."
So I have seen the Lego Batman movie, and I actually loved it.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Approved.
Yeah, that's actually really exciting. Ilsa gifted me the second book in that series.
I see. God love her. Oh,
yeah. She the best. Pretty sure I bring her up every episode, at least once. Sound like a lovesick fool.
Bestie.
Besties. Yeah, so super excited about that because I did really, really love this book. I feel like it's going to be a very interesting movie with the things that happen in it. So I'm wondering if it's going to get as explicit as the book. You need to read it so we can actually talk about it.
Okay, I will. I will this month.
Okay.
Don't hold me to that. Maybe next month, but I will in the foreseeable future.
Okay.
Promise. Speaking of Happy Place by Emily Henry, Netflix is producing a show. Oh my god. And the whole rest of the team at J-Lo's production company is also involved in that.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting because I didn't even know that she had a publishing company.
Me neither, honestly. But I mean, pop off. Okay. I also want to reread that before. It just needs to be a written rule that we're going to reread any books that are coming to adaptation. Yep.
100%.
Like, I remember it, but I want to, like, relive it again right before I see it.
It's been a year since we read Happy Place. Happy Place was July's featured read last year.
No.
Like, that's bonkers.
No.
It does not feel like it's been that long.
No. That makes no sense to me. I feel like I blacked out for the whole last year.
Yeah. But yeah, nobody's been cast for it yet, I don't think.
No. I haven't seen anything either. I did see this too, but I haven't seen anything else.
So exciting. The next thing that I found was that HBO's Harry Potter series has found its showrunner and director. Succession, His Dark Materials, and Killing Eve's Francesca Gardner? Yeah, so she'll serve as the showrunner, writer, and executive producer. And The Menu, Succession, and Game of Thrones, Mark Malode direct and executive produce it as well. So that's gonna be sick.
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm so glad that we're finally hearing some more talk about this series, though, because I was honestly, like, nervous that it wasn't going to go ahead.
Oh, she's brewing.
It's just going to be so interesting to have, like, a whole fresh new take on this, because this has been, 3 decades. If you think about the movie, or the books.
Yep. Oh, that just made me physically ill.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But it's time. It's time for a revamp.
Yeah.
And also, if they're going to focus more heavily on the books and give us more... Yeah.
More side characters, exploring different stories that the movies didn't do. It's definitely going to be a fresh new take, and I am here for it.
Yep. Then up next... I haven't read this one, but I have heard very good things. Mm-hmm. Netflix is also developing another film for 1,000 Boy Kisses by Cole. Tilly Cole.
Cole bestseller? Is that what you're just gonna say?
No.
Get another glass, Becky.
It's also really hot in here right now, so like I should not be drinking. But I have heard very good things about that, and I remember that being all over TikTok. I do want to read it.
Yeah.
We'll have to read it before it comes out.
Apparently, like it destroys a lot of people. Everybody knows by now, we love some good old Harry Potter fanfictions.
Us? No way.
There's another one that is getting officially published.
Oh my god.
So I know like Manacled was like the pinnacle for us. Like that's, you know, that was peak. Yeah. But another really popular, well-reviewed fanfiction, The Auction. So this is, The Auction is another Hermione and Draco fanfiction. It's an alternate universe. And the description for this one is, in the wake of the Dark Lord's triumph over Harry Potter, the defeated must learn their new place. Hermione Granger, former Golden Girl, has been captured and reduced to human chattel. I don't know if that's supposed to be cattle. Yeah, there's a typo. Sold to, maybe not though. Anyways, sold to the highest bidder at the top prize at an auction. The Order members and sympathizers, she is thrust into the rabid, waiting hands of the Death Eaters. But despite the horrors of Voldemort's new world, help and hope seem to arise from the most unlikely of places. So this is like graphic. It's explicit. So Julie Soto, Not Another Love Song, is the arc that I read. Yeah. Yes. So
What?
that is the same author. She wrote this fan fiction, The Auction. She took to Instagram and announced this new dark romance fantasy trilogy that she's writing. And so this is the description of this new fantasy trilogy that she is writing. Your next romantasy obsession. Captured as her castle is overrun by the enemy, Bryony Rosewood knows that the world as she knows it is changed forever. The dark forces of Beaumard have won, and her people, the Eversons, face imminent servitude, imprisonment, or death. Her brother, fated to be heir twice over and unite the warring kingdoms, is dead. Stripped of her mind magic and her freedom, Bryony and the other survivors are quickly auctioned off to the highest bidders in an auction. And as the heir apparent's sister, she fetches the highest price. After a fierce bidding war, she's sold to none other than Tovin, a high-ranking Beaumardson, and her long-time and ill-fated infatuation. Scion of a family known for the cruel control of heart magic, the Hearsts, that's a hard word to say, the Hearsts are ruthlessly ambitious, and Bryony knows they will use her however they can to further their own interests. Yet, despite the horrors of the new world and the role she must learn to play within it, all is not lost. Help and hope may yet arise in the most unlikely of places. She used the same ending of the description.
Holy shit.
So, she, like I said, she made this Instagram post on it, and she posted the picture of the publisher's marketplace where Rose and Chains is what this book is going to be called, how they picked it up, and how it's a darkly intoxicating fantasy romance, basically just summarizing what I just read out. And then she wrote, "Am I overwhelmed? I am. Experiencing joy? Here's some more fun things from yesterday. So Rose and Chains is available for pre-order in the UK and has climbed to number 1 on the Amazon UK bestseller list in fantasy. So already this has been grabbed and just everybody is excited, right? Yep. Pre-order in the US is not yet available. US likes to do pre-orders closer to the 9-month mark, which is also when cover reveal usually happens. In case you missed it, Rose and Chains is a trilogy, and I have signed for 5 more adult books. 3 fantasy, 2 more rom-coms like Forget Me Not and Not Another Love Song. And then she said, 5 books, you say? Wow, you must be topped out on news for us. No, I'm insane, and there are more things to announce next month. And then lastly, and then she just asked for signing up to her newsletter and stuff. In the description, she also posted, "Yes, it's what you think." That was the line.
Obviously.
So it's quite obvious that it's the auction. I mean, so I have that on my Kindle waiting to read because I want to read the original auction first and then read what's published after. Yeah. But what a time to be alive with all of these fan fictions are finally getting the light that they so deserve. I'm just flabbergasted.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my god. The next bit of news is Lucy Score actually just dropped a video the other day saying that she has a surprise for us. She's dropping early next year something that if we like Gilmore Girls or Schitt's Creek and a small town romance, we need to keep an eye out. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes. And also Lucy Score.
Right? So I don't know if this is going to be, is this going to be like another novel series, or is she hinting that there's going to be a show? Because if she brings up like Gilmore Girls and Schitt's Creek, and like
That's
it's
too.
this,
Yeah.
and not just that, but it's this big, like she made this video where like it's stationary on like a couch or something maybe, and she pops up from behind it, and she's like so discreet, and she's like, if you like Gilmore Girls at Schitt's Creek, keep an eye on my page because something's dropping
That's a
in
show.
really nice. You know, like I don't think there would be that much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like not hype. I don't want to be like that, but yeah, like I don't think she would be like that over just another small town romance novel that she's writing, because all of her books series are like small town romances. So this feels like it's bigger.
And also, like you said, to bring up Gilmore Girls and Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
That's a show. That's a show.
Yeah.
Oh, and Lucy's score. Yes.
No. Another bit of news from Emily Henry, which is very fitting for this month considering our featured read. She's getting a screen adaptation of Funny Story. And it's going to be a movie. Yep. From Lyrical Media, Rider Picture Company. And she said, in her description when she posted it to Instagram, she said, full details in the grocery list. Also just read there's going to be a Shrek 5. So big day all around.
What a good month.
I love how she announced that at the same time as Shrek.
What a good month.
Yeah. That's amazing. But like that's 2 adaptations right off the bat this month from Emily Henry. So you go, girl. Yeah.
So, for our anticipated releases, we're going to start off strong with Tessa Bailey. This is the number 2 in the Big Shots series. It's called The Au Pair Affair. This is a sports romance. It is 384 pages, and it is coming out July 16th. A sports rom-com about a burly, surly single dad who falls head over hockey stick for his quirky live-in nanny. Tallulah is smart, vivacious, and studying to be a marine biologist. She's also 26 and broke. So when Burgess, a battle-scarred hockey veteran and newly single dad, offers her a job as his live-in nanny, she jumps at the opportunity to get paid while living in a super fancy neighborhood and being around Melissa, his cool but introverted tween. Her tween charge isn't the only one who could use some help fitting in, though. According to, well, everyone except Burgess, he needs to get back on the dating scene, and adventurous Tallulah is just the girl to show him how. But as boundaries are slowly crossed and Burgess finds himself pulled between his daughter, who wants her parents back together, and his insane chemistry with Tallulah, a huge rift is formed, and Tallulah does the right thing by breaking her own heart and walks away. Though Burgess knows it's for the best, he's too jaded with too much baggage. A chance meeting and a new push from his daughter forces him to put everything on the line and fight to prove he learned his lessons well and is worthy of a happily ever after with Tallulah.
Yes, please.
Delicious.
Hockey romance.
Delicious.
Single dad. The nanny. Yeah. So many check marks right there. Next we have The Fiancé Dilemma by Elena Armas. This is number 2 in the long game. And as you had noted, it's the same author for The Spanish Love Deception, which is a great book. Still recommend you to read it.
Yep, I need to. It's on my list.
It's been like 2 years.
But it's there. It's there.
That's good. So this is a contemporary romance. It's 432 pages, and its expected publication is July 30th. Josie Moore has given the opposite sex and love plenty of chances. 4 exactly, if you count all of her failed engagements, and 5 if you include the absentee father who kept her existence a secret until very recently. So when her father decides to announce his retirement with a splashy magazine piece about the family, Josie realizes her romantic history is a complicated PR issue. Matthew Flanagan is in the mud, literally. Not only has he been fired from his job, but also the tires of his car are stuck in the muck after taking a wrong turn as he enters Green Oak, North Carolina. So he grabs a duffel with his essentials and goes in search of a place to crash until he gets his life back on track. But instead, he finds the best friend's sister, Josie, greeting him as her fiancé. What starts as a big, messy misunderstanding quickly turns into an arrangement with Matthew playing the role as a doting fiancé. A fifth engagement, and a stunt at that, makes Josie's stomach turn, but every dilemma requires a choice between equally desirable alternatives, and Matthew doesn't seem to mind becoming one more number in a colorful list of grooms that never were. Despite the ring on her finger, Josie knows this is only temporary, even if the rest of the small town believes that the fifth time's the charm. Small town fake dating. Whoop!
Oh, yeah.
The only thing is, as long as there's no, crazy amounts of miscommunication.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
Then it'll be fine. A Penelope Douglas?
Oh, yeah.
5 brothers. Now, Penelope. What did you write us here?
What goodies do you have for us?
This is a contemporary romance, reverse harem. Dark. 560 pages.
Oh boy. She big.
That is a good amount for one of her books. Yes. This comes out July 30th. Oh my god, I didn't know that she was writing another book. Good find. One woman learns the secrets of the 5 Yeager brothers. On the other side of town, in the dark glades under the rain. ... Macon is the oldest, 31, ex-Marine. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Army is 28, a single dad with the most beautiful green eyes. He has no idea who he is, if not a Yeager brother. Iron will be in prison soon. You'd never think it to meet him. He's a nice guy, actually, but he can't stop reacting to everything. Dallas is the one I hate. 21, cruel and selfish. He takes and then throws away whatever's left. He's obviously going to be the best one. And Trace is mine. Or he was for about 2 seconds. No one can tame him for long. Not that I ever wanted to. It was fun, but now I need to go home, back to my side of the tracks, away from the swamps and these men, to my parents' big house, on my clean street, where I'm never dirty or messy or hot, and I will. I'll leave first thing tomorrow morning. I just want to crash on the couch tonight. Okay, girl.
Get it.
Their house is dark and quiet. Everyone else is asleep, except for one. He sees me crying and comes at me from behind. I let him wrap his arms around my body and hold me tightly. His breath is on my neck. His fingers are in my hair, and he doesn't stop there. I don't think it was Trace. Shut the front door right now. Oh my god.
So Credence vibes, maybe?
But legal. But legal. You can have relations with as many brothers as you want, as long as you're not married to one. And as long as they're not your uncle.
Oh my god.
I'm adding it to my TBR right now. Actually, I'm probably pre-ordering it if I have the opportunity to right now.
So, you know when it's been me that picks the books? Because the second hockey romance is on this list already.
Here we go. Yep.
So this is If You Want Me by Helena Hunting. This is number 2 in the Toronto Terror series.
Okay, I love. Do you see that little fine print that's on the cover?
But Daddy, I love him.
I keep seeing posts about that, and it's like controversial, like men as the pictures.
Yeah.
But Daddy, I love him.
Yep. But Daddy, I love him. So this is another sports romance, like I said, 460 pages, and it's already out July 11th.
Ooh.
So this is, like I said, it's number 2 in the series, but it is a standalone novel. But if you do want to meet the characters before reading this book, read If You Hate Me. That's book number 1 in the Toronto Terror series. So, a standalone, age gap, dad's best friend, hockey romance.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 and yes.
There's no one more off limits than my best friend's daughter. Peggy Aurora Hammerstein, the Toronto Terror's unofficial team princess. I would never do anything to mess with our team dynamics this late into the hockey season, but seeing her work in the front office changed something for me. I see her as she is now, a powerful woman with ambition for miles. When I hold her against me, she fits perfectly. Her little flirts and taunts push my buttons, but if she doesn't stop, my control just might break. But I can never cross that line. I can never know what it could be to call her mine. I've never wanted anyone more than Aurora, and no one can ever know.
Sir?
But Daddy, I love him.
Sir? God damn it.
Yep.
I have to add that one too.
I don't know what the tropes are for the first book.
So the next one is Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. It is a contemporary romance, 400 pages, and it is coming out July 23rd. Back in high school, everybody thought Shiloh and Carrie would end up together. Everybody but Shiloh and Carrie. They were just friends, best friends, allies. They spent entire summers sitting on Shiloh's porch steps, dreaming about the future. They were both going to get out of North Omaha. Shiloh would go to college and become an actress, and Carrie would join the Navy. They promised each other that their friendship would never change. Well, Shiloh did go to college, and Carrie did join the Navy, and yet somehow everything changed. Now Shiloh's 33, and it's been 14 years since she talked to Carrie. She's been married and divorced. She has 2 kids, and she's back living in the same house she grew up in. Her life is nothing like she planned. When she's invited to an old friend's wedding, all Shiloh can think about is whether Carrie will be there, and whether she hopes he will be. Would Carrie even want to talk to her after everything? The answer is yes, and yes, and yes. Slow Dance is a story of 2 kids who fell in love before they knew enough about love to recognize it. 2 friends who lost everything. 2 adults who just feel lost. It's the story of Shiloh and Carrie, who everyone thought would end up together, trying to find their way back to the start. That's sweet.
Remember the short story that we read around Christmas time? Something about the Jell-O. It was like COVID. Yeah. She goes, same author.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Also, you know what that gives me, like, what that makes me think of is The Best of Me.
No, we can't talk about that. My heart. Lots of good books, lots of good news. I am super excited for this month.
That is a great month. I added 2 of those. I mean, I could have added every single one to my TBR, but I'm being realistic here with my TBR.
Oh, are you? I don't know what that's like. My TBR is so wildly out of control. I can't keep track of it.
That's what we're here for, though, I guess.
I have seen the random TikToks of the unicorns of people that say they're down to, like, their last book on their TBR. I'm just like, how? I didn't think that we were supposed to be able to finish our TBR, Paul. I thought it was just...
What do you mean?
like exponential growth. But
just never ending.
Yeah, I mean, that's what mine is. Hence the podcast.
True.
Oh, God. But yeah, so I guess we can just leave it there for today.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. And you'll hear about our ratings for our books from this episode.
Mm-hmm. And deep dive into funny story.
I'm
so excited. So excited. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Rate us on Spotify, Apple, whatever you're listening to us on. And yeah, let us know what you're reading this month.
Yeah. Share, please. We want to
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
See ya.
Toodles.